recording if she's holding her phone? Well, I think that we might have to consider the possibility that she has two phones and that this was either deliberately orchestrated and set up and planned and it's all acted and fake, or she just made the very reasonable assumption that if she wore tight white pants at a grocery store and like kind of leaned forward, that guys would look at her ass.
That's what you guys are, just a couple of meat bags.
Okay, all right. Now we've seen the video, which had like 50 trillion views. Tim Pool, give us your take.
Now, that doesn't mean that they quite literally on the spot want to. It means they're checking out your body because in nature, women produce babies and men.
Okay, I gotta be real with you guys. Why the Tim, why are you being a little queer, my man? That's my job. What is this? Why do you guys make having sex with women sound so unappealing? Is that what you like see a hot, beautiful babe and you're like, in nature, women are made to bear the young? What the f you make like it's like you're choosing to make it weird. And I think it's because it's like a dehumanizing thing. Like you don't want to acknowledge that sexual attraction still puts you both at an equal level socially. You have to think of it in a kind of like carnal, you take the woman and make them an incubator for your young or whatever. But like, you're not, dog, you're not, if that was actually what you were thinking about, then why do you think about getting your come on, you're not thinking about like having her bear your children. You're thinking about enjoying her body, which is fine. That's like life, whatever. It's like they choose to make it creepy because the majority audience of Tim Pool has really weird values when it comes to women, you know? So they don't want to, like, this is one of the reasons why the right wing, like whenever the right wing talks about sex, they never ever sound like they have it. They never sound normal. They can never just be like, oh yeah, well, when you see a beautiful woman, it's like, I mean, you think of her because she's like really hot, right? No big deal. Like, because that's obvious. Like, you know, no one would disagree with that. Instead, they have to make it this bizarre, like pseudo evo psychology screed because it designates the appropriate mix of I don't know, distance and contempt. It's very strange. Very, very strange. You know? I don't get it.
And would like to find women who have good genetics to produce babies.
Like this shit, man. Why are you making her all sound so gay? You're like deliberately taking a beautiful thing, which is you know, having sex with a beautiful lady and making it sound horrible. Why are you doing that? You really want me to believe that this is something you enjoy when you talk about it like this? I don't literally think you're like Ace or whatever. It's just, why are you doing that? It's wild. Yeah, this is why conservatives hate Joe Cat, because he actually likes women, you know? He's giving us sex havers a bad name. It's just, I don't understand how you can talk about sex that way and not feel really embarrassed, you know?
Babies with. For men, it's actually quite easy. You look at a woman. Does she look like she can have babies?
That's, yeah, that's definitely, that's how the process works, man, 100%. That's that 100%. Why look at their face? What does facial symmetry have to do with the likelihood of them being able to bear children? Like, oh, well, actually, that means the genetics of the child would be, okay, like, you would never have sex with a woman unless it was for procreation. Are you literally gay? I'm not trying to be petty about this. It's just like, it feels like it genuinely comes from a place of disgust towards the entire act. Like it's a vile biological function that, like, biologically, I have to shit, dude. I don't like... But my attitude towards shitting is that it's just something I have to do and get over with, you know? I don't talk about sex that way. I have to shit. I choose to have sex because it's fun. Why do you make it sound so unfun? I don't get it. I don't get it. What about being a good housewife? Well, that's the thing as well. Like the fake evo-psych, because it's never real research, right? It's always just like post hoc justifying some belief you have. The fake evo-psych nonsense is usually internally contradictory. It's the same reason conservatives will say like being a male, being a man is biological. And then they'll be like, well, you're not a real man unless you do X. What do you mean by that? You're not a real man unless you have like jeans and a pickup truck? What does that mean? What are you talking about? And then they'll be like, well, actually, the entire purpose of sexual attraction is like to facilitate the procreation. No, it's not. Are you fucking dumb? Are you stupid? What do you think jobs are for, dumbass? You see everything people do that's tied to sexual attraction is procreation. What about kissing, you fucking numbskull? You think kissing is necessary for procreate? Like, what are you talking about? It's insane. And then you mention this, and then they pretend that this makes sense, that you can reconcile this like juxtaposition, you know? Where they're like, well, actually, I don't do any of those things. I simply like jerk off 99% to completion and then slip the tip in, and then I come, and then I'm done. And that way I minimize, you know, that's the most efficient way to inseminate the female and make them produce like my children. And when they're already pregnant, I don't have sex with them again because there's no point, because the whole purpose is to inseminate them with more babies. What are you talking about, man? You're crazy. You're insane. I cannot believe the left let the right, maybe this is changing with JoeCat, the left let the right get heterosexual sex in the national divorce. Because you motherfuckers either aren't having it or aren't enjoying it. You're not gonna convince me. You're not gonna convince me you guys enjoy sex when you talk like this. I mean, Andrew Tate just flat out admitted that he doesn't enjoy sex, and he only has sex with beautiful women as a power sign to other men, which, like, okay, all right.
Okay.
See, he even agrees. Sounds like a Cumtown bit. Yeah, but that's like actually the shit they say. It's insane. It's like genuinely psychotic, right? It's crazy. The world they live in is very gray and sad, like it becomes about power. But here's the thing. I don't think that they actually live that life. I think that Tim Pool or whatever other conservative, whatever the like, I think they hug and they kiss and they cuddle. I don't, like, maybe not all of them do, but I think that, like, because it's almost universally enjoyable, they do those things, but they can't talk about sex that way, because then they would have to acknowledge it as like a setting of like mutual intimacy in which, you know, you're both like vulnerability, like, but they can't do that. They have to pretend that it's just this purely biological function, because that's how they logically justify it. Watch me justify what's happening in this video without having to defer to fake evo-psych. Dog, I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with checking out the ass of a beautiful woman in a grocery store. Don't leer, by which I mean, like, first of all, don't make them feel uncomfortable ever. Like, don't stare at them or whatever, and don't be weird, but like, obviously looking at beautiful people, which is something everyone does, and I think everyone enjoys doing to some extent, right? Sometimes, like, they bend over, they've got a nice ass. That's life, man. And if you've got a nice ass and you bend over to pick something up, people check your ass out, I can understand how that might at times be frustrating, or you might feel like you're kind of like meat in a bar, in like a butcher's window. I totally understand that. I sympathize with that. And I'm not saying that's an invalid feeling. I'm only saying that, like, to an extent, this is kind of part of life, right? Like, it's not purely a heterosexual thing. Literally, go to like a gay leather bar. Go to a lesbian bar. I have, you know, go in there. Well, like, clearly there's something about the human condition. We want to look at pretty people when they bend over. I'm sorry. Just don't be weird about it. You know? That's it. Dumbass rage bait content.
This is why there's like rouge, pinching the cheeks, lipstick. These are signs of fertility.
Doing the Jordan Peterson bit here, you know. That's why women wear like makeup. That's, first of all, like 99% of makeup is concealer and eyeliner, which I don't know. Is that fertility? You know, fertility is designated by having perfectly smooth skin and having ridiculously long eyelashes. They always forget eyeliner and concealer. Yeah, because this fake ass, like, Jordan Peterson makeup is purely done to attract men sexually bullshit, which you would know is not true if you ever spoke to a woman. Yeah, it falls apart if you think about it in any greater extent. Also, men used to wear makeup. I mean, some men still do, but yeah, like, to varying extents. You could say, like, oh, well, you know, women wear tights because it naturally accentuates the hips or blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, well, men wore tights for literal centuries. What about that? Could they breed? Like, did they have a womb? Maybe.
For men, it's a little bit more complicated and difficult. And this goes into the what women really want question that home.
Wait, how? Wait, what?
lipstick. These are why there's like rouge, pinching the cheeks, lipstick. These are signs of fertility. For men, it's a little bit more